In today's video, we're going to talk about a simple indicator that helps anticipate trend reversals and momentum shifts in the markets. Adding this indicator into your system will help you get out of taking false signals and really be on the momentum side of price action. So let's get into it. So the indicator is LBR 310 on TradingView. If you search it up, it will be the first one, I believe. LBR 310 by Bonfire. So add that in. I didn't change anything. And this indicator is created by, I gotta look it up because I'm gonna say the name wrong. Linda Bradford Rashk. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. But basically what it is, there's a 3 SMA and the 10 SMA. And then we also have the signal line. So if we look down here, we have the histogram, the blue right here with that I call the signal line. And how we're going to use this in its simplest form, and I'm saying the simplest form, blue above the signal line, bullish, opposite, blue below the signal line, bearish. Now that's just the simplest form, but there's actually a strategy that goes into using this besides just that. So we'll use this setup from this morning on the 1 minute chart. So price is going down, right? Okay, so we have this downtrend line. And if we look, momentum's going down, down, and each low, if we look, we have this low, and then we have this other low. This has a lower, the blue line's lower here. So momentum is increasing down. Obviously we had the pullback, but everything's in sync, right? We're producing lower lows, lower lows. Now, over here, look at the shift. So we had that, the lowest point, and we had a lower low, but the histogram is higher. So we already have a little bit of divergence right here. Okay. Go up higher. We have a lower low compared to this candle. Look, we're still shifting up, and now we're above the signal line. So this is signaling bullish momentum. We have shifted, but I don't use that alone. I use that with trend break. So by the time this candle prints, we're above the zero line right here, this dashed line. So we are now in bullish territory. We're above the signal line. We have shifted. We broke structure here, and that downtrend we have broken. So there's a good buy. Careful with the VWAP, careful with the pivot point, and look what happens. It gets to the VWAP and pivot point, rejects a little bit before it continues higher. So that's a good counter trend trade. And then we could go talk through this, and this is kind of a good example that shows just because this is going down does not mean we are actually shifting momentum fully, but there is divergence. So we can't keep taking longs because there is a divergence happening. So we are due for a pullback. So we have this higher here, higher high, but look, I'll draw it out. So continuously rising up, right? These 3 peaks. And then you go through here. So look at that divergence. I would not be looking for longs. I want this to shift price because this is already showing we're going into bearish momentum. We're below the signal line. Sell, sell, sell. Now, once we get to here, look, we shifted below the zero. And if you wanted to take a short, we got to break this structure. Took a short, but if you zoom out, we broke this high and we have this big push up, right? So we would want to look at this with a fib and be like, okay, if we are taking shorts, 50, 618. So somewhere in this area, we could expect price if it's going to do a normal retracement down to here. So you don't want to get greedy and think we're going through this low. if price has shifted above the previous high, which it has. So this is just going to be a pullback, and then we continue up. Let's give another example. So say we didn't take this short. We said, okay, we want to wait for this pullback to finish and start taking a long higher, right? Okay, so we have a push up, bullish momentum, kind of just dropping momentum, but really we're just kind of chopping in price. So that's kind of giving us a consolidation range. Ooh. Around this area, okay. So we have this low, lower low, okay. Momentum's going down. We haven't shifted up fully yet. Have this low here, okay, still nothing. Still nothing. We have this push up. This is just kind of in that chop zone still. We're just going back and forth. So there's real no setup until right here. Let me delete this. So we have a low and a lower low. And then if we look down here, they're pretty much equal. So for me, this is a stop run. So if we draw this line straight from this low, stop hunt, we shifted up above the signal line. We're going bullish again. So I would wait for this area to be broken. Get in, put your stop wherever. Usually I'm around 5 points or so, give or take, on the ES. And then I usually do about 2 on the ES. So something like that. Boom. There's your trade. One from earlier. If we do the same thing, wait for the breakout, which would be above this high. 5 points or so. I mean, you might have got stopped out, but if you were waiting for the break, it probably was red first and then started pushing out. And then 2. So basically 5-10. That's most of my trades. That's what I'm setting up for. So that's how you use this indicator. Again, it is LBR 310, and you're using this to spot divergence and momentum shifts. So you can see we had that stop run. Momentum's not shifting stronger to the downside. And by the time we started to break structure and form for that push, momentum was starting to shift to the bullish side. So you could test this using it just by itself, but I use this with my system, with price action, with trend lines, with pivot points and VWAP, so I know where price could anticipate to stall out and reverse, and then we watch the momentum indicator when it gets to these areas, and you can see stop hunt, pull back, and then rest of the day we just kind of chopped around. It's just slowly grinded up, but when you zoom in, you could probably find more diversions and stop hunts. So look, we have this high here. Had the stop hunt, and look, momentum is slowly declining. We're not as strong as where it was back here, but we did make a higher high. So there is our divergence. Price is starting to flip. And then you do a normal setup. No real flag here. Just kind of pull back chop. Now we got this flag as prices grinding up a little bit higher. Breakout, setup, boom. And then we're still above the VWAP, so you don't anticipate it to sell all the way off. So you want to take your profits. Where to take profits? Well, something around this low, if we get that low. And that's the momentum indicator. That's, to me, very few indicators I start to test that I implement in my system. But this one I saw the power right away, especially with that divergence and a stop run. That's like the perfect setup. You see that happen and you're pretty safe where that stop hunt, where that divergence was, is a protected high or low. So if you have your stop there, you're ready to rock and roll, and it's usually a pretty good shift in price. So check it out. I hope this has helped you out. Don't forget to subscribe and click that thumbs up if you haven't already. If you have indicators you want us to break down and test, see if they're actually worth using in your system, like this one here, like VWAP, pivot points, and all the other indicators we use, comment down below. We'll give it a run. We'll do some back testing with it, and we'll see if it's worth using or not and how to use it to the best you can. So see you in the next video. Peace.
Like and subscribe.